right? So this is one of the most popular system for indoors and outdoors. Here's how it works. Okay, so we have these channels. We have water film, thin layer of water flowing. These channels have holes in it in which we can put net cups, and these net cups will be holding substrate, yeah, as in the growing medium. Okay, so after a while, the roots, this water that flowing, that keeps the growing medium moist. Okay, and that's how the plant will get water. Okay, because the growing medium is moist, and then later on roots starts coming out of this growing medium. Okay, and there's another advantage to it. So when we pour water, there's no continuous flow. Obviously every minute it flows for some time, and for rest of the time roots are exposed to oxygen. Okay, that keeps them infection free, as well as it gives them a lot of oxygen. So there's a double advantage there. And so the water flows through this channel, which is collected back in the reservoir. We have a reservoir, water reservoir, that's pumping in water almost every minute for some time. We'll talk about that rate in a bit. But then roots are able to receive water as well as oxygen and nutrient through the water. Now NFT, so if you see on right hand side, this is how the channels look like in reality. NFT system is good for small plants. Okay, typically they are very popular for growing lettuce, but other small plants like basil, even celery, the little bigger plant, we can grow there. Okay, can be designed vertically. This gives us advantage so that we can have a higher crop density, especially when we go indoors. Typically, along with the lights, there are vertical racks. We'll see some of the pictures later on, and that gives us advantage. Even outdoors, you can actually have a shaped tower where you can grow vertical, so that you can have higher crop density. Water and oxygen combination helps crop grow much better. Reduce water usage, and accurate slope is required. Yeah, we'll see why it is required. Now 60 liter per hour is the flow that we have to maintain. Okay, and that's the key. Now so this is what we can do with the timers, that how much water we will pour every minute. We'll make sure that the water will stay there for some time. So, and that's where we need a particular angle to it. Okay, now 60 liters per hour is what we suggest. We've seen the best results. There are at times we have used 120 liters because the customer wanted to do certain experiment and try out certain things. But it's not that it won't work. Shape of the channel doesn't really matter. If you see in the diagram, the diagram has a not really rectangular shape or circle shape. You will see a lot of home system, they use a circular pipe. A lot of commercial system, they use a rectangle pipe. So there is no such criteria that what shape it needs to be, as long as substrate is able to reach the water and receive water. Okay, that is the key. However, the recommendation we have is make sure you are able to use the pipes that can be cleaned. Okay, so we use openable pipes that helps. So whenever we want to do maintenance, the upper cap can be removed, everything can be thoroughly cleaned, and because after a while there will be some kind of algae forming, that needs to be cleaned up. Okay, typical length we suggest is 3 meters. You can make number of modules of 3 meter long. However, 6 meters also can work. the length of the pipe. Okay, but all practical purpose, 3-meter pipe is best. It's easy to maintain, it's easy to monitor, and you can make a modular systems out of it. Okay, cross section suggested is 100 by 50 mm. Okay, people tend to use 80 by 100, 100 by 100. Doesn't really matter as long as we are making sure that when the water is flowing, that reaches substrate and hence the plant. Okay, so that's the principle we need to use. Okay, ideal space between the channels, the holes to the channels. Okay, they can be 200 mm apart. This is a guideline because most of the time people are growing lettuces in it, and that's the standard lettuce size. Okay, however, there are, if you're sure, and there are lettuces like rocket, which is a little smaller, or there are other plants like parsley. You can reduce the size, and you can actually go up to where you are having 100 mm apart. To get this higher density, if you see the diagram, we've achieved higher density by going vertical. Okay, so that's another advantage of this system. You just need to keep in mind that the sun will come from one side and go on the other side. Okay, so the direction of this stand will be very important when we do the setup. Okay, and we have to understand that the sun is going to be almost the light is going to be almost half of the flat bed system. So the growth would be little less. It is not going to be a huge change. However, but if you compare that, you are getting more higher density. So eventually there's going to be benefit in going vertical. Indoor, when we do the setup, you need not have a A shape. In fact, you can have a proper vertical layered channels. Now, this also helps because under a channel you can have light to the below plants. Okay, we'll see about the lights and everything later on. But for indoors, always we suggest, because that will give you higher density. You have constraints of space, so there are layered channels that are used.